For the longest of time, I didn't want to switch to the new WordPress editor. I wanted to stick with the classic one. When Gutenberg came out, I was like, nope, I like WordPress the way it has always been. But I finally took the plunge and deleted our classic editor and embraced the new WordPress. And here's why. Hi, my name is Daphne and welcome to my channel where I talk about how to organize your digital life. And today I'm going to be talking about a very specific topic, the editor that we use on WordPress, and why it's such an important topic to talk about is because for the longest of time, WordPress has had this typical classic editor where you could just, type in whatever you wanted to type and publish it, and the interface was a lot like Microsoft Word. It had that typical editor feel, and WordPress for a long time was really focused on blogging, and it was all about writing articles, and it was a lot of words and text. But now with the advent of social media, with Instagram and Snapchat when it came out, and all those more video and image focused platforms, I guess that WordPress has had to meet the new demand of we don't want too much text, and the articles that work the most are often with images and other multimedia um, components in the article. So what they've done is they have changed from having that classic Microsoft Wordy interface to being a more block-based interface. So if you do email marketing and you know about MailChimp, you know what I'm talking about, where you have several types of blocks, like images, text, video, HTML, and you can just drag them to form a page. So that's what the new WordPress editor is. And that works a lot, especially that nowadays people use WordPress not to blog, but to actually make a website, to create landing page and pages that are more interactive. It's no longer necessarily a blogging community more than it is a website builder, website developer community. But I was pretty stubborn, and I think that a lot of you are or were as well. And probably the reason that you clicked on this video is because you are deciding whether you should give up the classic editor and actually give in to what WordPress wants to give us. And so I've been blogging for about 9 years, and although I didn't start with the paid version of WordPress, I did start with the WordPress.com platform, and I got so used to what WordPress was back then that I didn't want to change to anything. Blogging and my blog is like my comfort zone, and I didn't want to get out of it. That was a big mistake, because now I've actually changed and stopped my classic editor, but basically I shifted to that block type of way of constructing an article and a page, and I love it now. I feel that the new interface will allow me to transform my blog more into a website, which is actually my goal. So I don't only want to write articles, but I want my blog to also be a kind of portfolio where I share videos and other things like that, where people can contact me. So I've had build-up contact forums and stuff like that that I want to implement. Building an article with blocks is kind of funny at first, because usually if you write an article, you just write the whole thing, and then afterwards You can add your images and whatever, but it's quite minimal. But I've realized that now on let's say if I write a typical blogging article, it's not only the article that is on that page. You have the article, you have the images, but for me, after the article, I also have a small contact form for people to subscribe to my newsletter, and then if I'm sponsored by anything, I have that particular sponsored banner, and I have my social media accounts that appear as icons. So all of these are different types of media, of blocks. So in the end, constructing an article with blocks becomes much easier because of all these other components that I've ended up adding to every single article of mine. And before, when I was still using the classic editor, I would just copy paste the HTML code over and over again. So I would go to a previous post and copy paste that HTML and go to the new post and copy paste and just copy paste. And I mean, it's not very viable in the end, and I'm not a professional coder or a web developer, so so having those blocks, I can simply just drag and drop with the already built-in features that I want. So it's so much better. I think that if you are considering moving from the classic WordPress editor to the new building blocks editor, think about why you have this blog in the first place. So if you're just a casual blogger that just posts stories and plain articles, you don't have to shift. You can just keep to your classic editor because it's not as if you're using a lot of other codes and materials or media anyway. But if you're thinking of making your blog an actual professional website or even a portfolio with a bit more interaction included, then I would suggest you try out the building blocks. Of course, not everything is permanent, so if you do cancel your classic WordPress editor and you don't like the new editor, you can just revert back to it by installing the plugin again. So it's fine to try it out. But yeah, if you're going serious about your blog, if you want this to be your website, a portfolio to show to your future employers or clients, then I think it's worth experimenting with blocks and adding a bit more multimedia components to your pages. I hope that this video has been helpful. If it did, don't forget to like, and feel free to let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you want to know more and see more videos about blogging and everything digital, subscribe.